And as you're coming in, if you can put your name and library in the chat, that's really going to help us out. Thank you. Everyone, for you guys coming in, if you can put your name and library in the chat, that's going to be really helpful to us. Allison, I sent you the Google Doc in the chat. Could you do attendance for me, please?
Okay.
Thank you. Everybody's starting to put their name and library in the chat as well. So if we don't catch everybody.
Okay.
Got a good turnout today, guys. I'm going to give it a few more minutes. We're having air conditioner problems at my library, so we have every fan and every humidifier going. And hopefully I'm not too drowned out by all the noises.
I'm not hearing you, Kate. Any background noise is all good. So been there, done that last week with air conditioning.
Okay, thanks, Sue. It was so bad that we came to work this morning and papers on our desks were actually damp, and our books, our brand new books, already had wave lines in them from the moisture. Not good.
I don't know if anybody's ever used NAIR, NAIER.org, but your public libraries can have an account with them, and I can get room size air humidifiers for like 30, 35 bucks a piece, and they're like usually 175. Yeah, NAIER.org.
Nice, thanks for that, Sue.
Yeah, I got a lot of that for our basement here at the main library, so.
Okay, I'm at 1 after, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. It looks like we are recording already, so if you don't want your camera on the recording, go ahead and turn that off if you're okay. Good. Welcome everybody to the July 2022 cataloging meeting. Greg was unable to make the meeting today. He would normally be running the meeting as the acting chair. So I've just kind of stepped in, and I'm going to pretty much read through his agenda that he had sent out. Please interrupt me if you have any questions, and we'll also have time for questions at the end. So I'm just following along the agenda here that was sent out. We have completed all of the regional trainings that we had set to that we had scheduled. We don't have any plans for further ones at the moment. I'm sure that's going to be something that we hopefully will be doing again in the future. We had those trainings because we have our certification now, and we announced that in February. So for everybody, the deadline to have that complete, every library needs to have at least one advanced cataloging certification complete by August 31st. If you feel like you can't make that deadline, please email cathelp@moevergreenlibraries.org, and we can see what we can do to help you. And just a heads up, if you haven't completed it yet, we do have some of the board members are reaching out to see if we can give you any help needed to get you to get that completed. So just heads up for that. The certification progress has been going wonderfully. We're so happy with it. As of the end of last week, we had 85 basic certifications and 45 advanced certifications. That number will never match up. There will be libraries who only have basic certifications for some of their staff, and other staff will be advanced certifications. But like I just said, every library needs to at least have one advanced certification done per library. And then also recently, Greg has been sending out little certificates of completion for those, and those are nice. So we send them both to the person who completed and your director. So you can have that in your permanent file as something that you have accomplished. So good job for everybody that has done that. Let's see. So committee changes, we haven't had any committee changes in the last month. Greg will be leaving in a couple months for his new full-time position. He is still looking at certifications part-time for Missouri Evergreen. We had one person leave off of the committee. They went and took another job. So we would love if you are interested to email us. Let's see. Please let me know if you're interested in this position. You should have a great cataloging skills, good communication skills, and should have passed both basic and advanced courses without any significant issues. So if you're interested at all, if you love cataloging, give us an email. We would love to get our committee numbers back up.
And I don't, you were a part, or if you were part of the email link or email chain, sorry, but Jonathon Williams, I know he's on the call today. He had expressed an interest in joining the catalog committee, so I will make sure that happens.
Great.
Maybe send out that email again. Okay, thanks.
Any questions about certification so far, or the Missouri Evergreen Cataloging Committee? Okay, we're going to talk about some cataloging issues that have been on the Missouri Evergreen Cataloging listserv the last month. We just want to go over some stuff, and if anybody has any questions, let me know. So last month we had a discussion about why catalogers or Missouri Evergreen users in general would ever need to put a hold on a specific copy. So that's a copy hold. Somebody was confused as to why that would be necessary. And as catalogers, we often need to do that because when we are fixing something, we want to be sure that we have that specific item in hand that we're fixing. We want to know if that ISBN is on the bib record. We want to know if that page number count for that bib record is correct. So that's often why that is used instead of just putting a regular hold on the whole bib record. Because if you do that, then of course the first available will come to you, and that might not necessarily be the one that you wanted. Let's see. Darcy sent an email out last month and was questioning why her holds weren't targeting after she had checked something in processing. This might be more of a circulation issue, but just to be aware, she selected the box retarget local holds, and this should ready any locally placed holds immediately when the item is changed from in processing status. So if you come across that was what she did to make those trigger. Holdings templates still continue to be kind of an intermittent issue in Evergreen. There's unfortunately a kind of a laundry list of launchpad bugs in reference to these holdings templates or copy templates. They work in general, I think. I think you should just be aware that they do sometimes have issues. So when you apply a template, just go ahead and scan over it and make sure that it applied everything that you intended for it to apply. And when you change those templates, if you want to change something and rename it or something like that. Sometimes there's issues with saving it. So if you saved it and you go back in, just double check that it has changed and that it is applying those changes that you want. Those continue to be persnickety. I wish that wasn't the case, but because they are very convenient to use holdings templates. And we had a big email thread last month too that Ron, or maybe it was earlier this month, Ron has a new mantra for us catalogers: see emerge, do emerge. I love that. If you're in the catalog and you have done a title search and you see that there are 5 records for the same item, please, please, please merge those things together, double checking that they indeed can be merged, that they match all of those. The contents, the page numbers are fairly similar and that kind of thing. We do have guidelines for that on the cataloging page of the Missouri Evergreen website. So I love that. See emerge, do emerge. I've put that on my computer. So when I just like to glance at it. And like I said, it's my new mantra. We also came across the ever-present -1 bib record. If you're unfamiliar with that, things that the -1 bib record has hundreds, if not thousands, if not tens of thousands, I don't know, holdings on that record. It is kind of the record purgatory where things go when they've been, there are so many scenarios where things go on that -1 bib record. For your regular workflow, you won't ever need to go into that bib record. It won't impact you really. It's just that sometimes on our, it happens on circ lists a lot. And then with our utility lists we get from Equinox every month, occasionally you'll get a call number or a TCN and you just can't find it for the life of you, but it's on that report. And that's because it has drawn that from that -1 bib record. So if you ever come across that and you have more questions about that, let us know. It's just kind of a catch-all bib record that things that really shouldn't be in the catalog anymore, they kind of go there. But occasionally we do have to work with it. It is not an easy bib to load. Don't be surprised if you ever try to go to it that it times out or something like that, because as I said, it has lots and lots of holdings on it because it's just kind of a catch-all. We've had a big discussion this last month about bootleg versions of DVDs, especially. We know that nobody in our consortium would ever intentionally order bootleg items, but we have unfortunately seen a little bit of a rise in the number of those. If you, I know not every cataloger orders things, but if you come across something and it's giving you a funny feeling or it looks funny, go ahead and kind of double check it. If it's not widely available in all of your usual places, meaning legitimate vendors like Baker & Taylor, Midwest Tape, Brodart, all of those, Ingram, then that might send up a red flag. If you can only find something on Amazon and it's only from sellers that are not, this item is filled by Amazon, it'll say that even if it's a third-party seller, it'll still say that it's coming from Amazon. If that's the only way you can find an item, especially eBay as well, and even Etsy, those probably are not legitimate. Like I said, we have a handful of them. We're not sure just yet if you happen to have one of these items that we'd like to double check. You may be hearing either from a committee member or a board member. We're not sure. We haven't exactly come up with procedures on what to do, but we do need to have something in place for that. And we do know that if you're asked to remove something because it's bootleg, we know that it was not intentionally ordered, but we cannot, we cannot be in, we can't not have legal things in our catalog. We can't have illegal items added to our catalog. So it could be, you know how that goes. We could be legally responsible and all of that stuff. The whole consortium as a whole could be found liable. So we don't want to do that. So if you come across something, we've even had something come, to someone's attention because it was filling a hold for their patron, and they looked at it and they were like, we tried to order this and we couldn't find it anywhere, yet it's in the catalog. So that right there sent a red flag to them, and they were like, could you check this out? So we don't want to add bootleg items to the catalog. And with streaming services, unfortunately, some things are just not going to be on DVD anymore. If they have a contract with a certain streaming service, those things just might not ever be out on DVD, unfortunately. Our patrons are not going to love that, but there's a couple series that I can think of off the top of my head that, because they have a contract with some streaming service, they're never going to be available on DVD. So that's just kind of the times we're in. I feel like with digital versions of things, things might not be offered on DVD like they once were. I think that's kind of the direction that technology is moving now. Last thing that I wanted to talk about was, as always, transferring in Missouri Evergreen. On the agenda that Greg sent out with the meeting, there's an outline on all the different, there's 4 different scenarios for transferring. Transferring can be really confusing in Missouri Evergreen. We also got a question, when should I merge? When should I transfer? If merging is an option, if all of the items, if the 2 bib records are the same, you should always merge instead of just transferring your item off of it. However, if your item is on the wrong bib and you need to transfer it to the correct bib because those 2 bibs are different from one another, then that's the scenario where you would transfer. So the 4 different scenarios for transferring were outlined in the agenda. I'm not going to go over them, but Nate got this list up for us a couple of years ago, and I still use it every time I transfer because I'm just like, it tends to be kind of confusing in Missouri Evergreen, but unfortunately it's something that we all have to do. So look at the agenda for those scenarios and how and when you should transfer your items from one bib to the other. As always, thanks to everyone who sends emails out to the listserv saying, hey, can you check your items? Hey, can you move your item? Can you double check this or that? It's a shared catalog is something that we're all responsible for. So us communicating with one another on how to get things fixed is the best thing that we could do. You can always send emails directly to cathelp@moevergreenlibraries.org as well. If you're not comfortable emailing out to the listserv, but everybody is really easygoing about getting the emails on the listserv. So it's not something that you should feel like you can't do. So I'm already at the end of the agenda that Greg had typed up. So does anybody have any questions or comments? Next month, our August meeting is August 15th. I am unsure if Greg will be able to do that meeting. We'll let you know when we send out the agenda and everything closer to the time of the meeting. I have mentioned it, I think 3 times already this meeting, but if you have questions, cathelp@moevergreenlibraries.org. We use that and everybody on the cataloging committee gets that email. So it's a first come, first serve. That way we can hopefully help you as quickly as we can. If someone's not available, the next person that is available can help you answer your questions.
Hey, Kate, thanks.
Yeah.
And chairing this meeting today. I appreciate that in Greg's absence. I know I'm seeing some people that I have contacted myself about the certifications, and I just want to kind of say that everyone that we have, I believe Mickey and I have been tag teaming some of those libraries that don't quite have their certifications in order yet, and just kind of reaching out to them. We've had a really great response from them. we've got some movement and a shaking going on as more people are getting certified both in basic and in advanced. You know, there's a variety of reasons, especially for our small libraries, but we've been, you know, reaching out, helping them along the way. We've also realized that we've got a few more obstacles that we need to address. Is a change of the library director. So legacy stuff isn't there, and so we're also working on some onboarding stuff for the new directors. Not just for transitioning libraries, but actually new directors in their positions. So, you know, that's been noted as well, and we're working on that. But I just want to say thanks to everyone for their general response to our emails, kind of laying out what's going on with their libraries and where they're at in the certification process. And I really appreciate everybody you know, doing their best to meet those deadlines. I know you mentioned August 31st, but in all my emails, I said August 14th, because I think I wanted to have a little bit of leeway for some grading in there. So, but I just want to kind of explain that to the ones that maybe I reached out, you know, the difference in those deadlines. So, but once again, thanks so much for everyone's, you know, we're only as good as our weakest member. And I think for the most part, we're not weak in anything because we have a great team, great consortium, and I'm really happy to be leading this. So thanks.
The certification is certainly meant to help everybody. If you need help with it, you know, we will be glad to reach out and get any help that you need. Having everybody on an even playing field as far as their knowledge of cataloging, that was our main goal. And it's not meant to be intimidating or anything like that. It is, they are long documents, but they're so comprehensive. And, you know, I just finished my advanced certification myself just last Friday. And it was a great class, you know, a great process to go through, and have those activities that we do in our day-to-day work, you know, just make sure that we're on top of how to do them. So if you have any questions, I'm so glad to see some of you here that we may not have seen in the past. So welcome. And we do have our meeting. This meeting was rescheduled from last Monday. Our meetings are generally the second Monday of the month at 11 a.m. So hopefully you can work that into your calendar. And these meetings are recorded. So if you're unable to make it, if someone in your library is unable to make it, if you know someone close to you that, you know, a library close to you, and they're just like, I could never make it to these meetings, we do record these and encourage you to watch them. So that's all I've got. Any more questions or comments, anybody?
And the meeting recordings are posted pretty quickly, on our web.
Don't forget to add your name and library in the chat if you haven't done so already, please.
Thanks, Allison. So if you haven't put your name in the chat, go ahead and do that. Otherwise, I think that's it for this month's meeting. I think in the future, we will kind of use our cataloging meeting also, as we'll go over something from the certification. We'll pick something out and just kind of go over it all together. So we'll do that for the next few meetings. And I'll see you guys on August 15th.
Thanks, Kate.
Thanks, everyone.
Kate.
Thank you.